There are two types of Paradox Pokémon, the past Paradox and the future Paradox. And aside from being from the past and future respectively, there are three things that separate them, that being their names, their designs, and abilities. And I personally believe that the future Paradox Pokémon got the short end of the stick in all three of these categories. If you don't believe me, let's first take a look at the biggest weakness, their names. While each past Pokémon got a cool and unique name, like Slitherwing or Roaring Moon, every Futuremon's name starts with the word Iron. Iron Leaves, Iron Treads, Iron Thorns, etc. It feels very boring and lazy. The next big point are the designs. While I don't hate the Futuremon's designs, I don't think it was necessary to make every single one look like a robot or cyborg just because they're from the future. Having some of them modified is cool, but natural adaptation can happen in the future too. Now onto the main point, the abilities. Both past and future mons have similar abilities, which involves boosting their highest stat in certain conditions. That condition for the past Pokemon is the sun, and for the future it's electric terrain. While this ability isn't bad, the issue lies with the electric terrain setters. Tapu Koko, who was considered the best electric terrain setter in the past, is not in the Scarlet and Violet games, and electric terrain can no longer be used in Ubers since Miraidon recently got banned. This leaves only one Pokemon who can passively set electric terrain with its ability, and that Pokemon is Pincurchin. And I'll be straightforward with you, Pincurchin is not good. It tries to do too many things and fails at all of them. It has absolutely no speed, so you would think it will have some bulk. But while its defensive stats are decent, it has no HP to capitalize on it. Pokemon like Toxapex or Shuckle who have low HP can still function as walls because they have sky-high defenses, but Pincurchin does not. Offensively, Pincurchin's stats are okay, but they can't be used very well if you're not fast or bulky. It could at least take advantage of its terrain back in Gen 8 with the move Rising Voltage, but it no longer gets that move for some reason. In fact, I think the only Pokemon left with that move is Raging Bolt, who's already stupidly strong. Support-wise, Pincurchin can be okay, because it gets quite a few hazards, and the move Scald which can fish for burns whilst also doing damage. But for some reason they didn't give this guy Volt Switch, which in my opinion would make it viable, as it can be used to safely bring in a threat who can take advantage of the terrain. With all these factors, you can probably see why it's not used much in OU right now, along with the electric terrain, especially since you can rely on the item Boost Energy to activate the abilities instead. However, there are still many benefits to terrain, for example, freeing up the item slot for the Paradox Pokémon, as well as having the opportunity to reactivate their abilities multiple times during a battle. So here's me trying to make electric terrain work in Generation 9 OU. Hope you have fun watching. Real quick before I end this video, I want to mention a couple of things I learned about electric terrain whilst making this. We already know that different terrains can shut each other down like weather, but there are Pokemon who are just good, who are used, who happen to have terrain as well, for example Rillaboom. While the terrain is part of its success, it doesn't really enable others to use it. It's more like a bonus for the rest of the team. So Pokemon like that can throw a wrench in teams built around terrain. Another big disadvantage I noticed was Ice Spinner. It's a common coverage move used on common Pokemon like Great Tusk or Iron Treads, with the side effect of completely erasing a terrain. And as far as I know, there's no move that completely erases weather in Pokemon. So yeah, there's definitely more disadvantages to using terrain than I thought, not just having bad terrain setters. But I still don't think it's a bad strategy, and it's proven to be threatening in national decks where Tapu Koko is still around. Anyways, if you're still here, thanks for making it this far into the video, and I'm glad you enjoyed. Have a good one, see ya.